Now let's try applying the controllet we worked on in the previous part. First of all, since turning on the controllet puts a heavy load on the system, we'll remove all unnecessary previews. This one will stay connected as is, and I'll set the color to teal. I'll place it here on the IP adapter. I'll do it like this here and then remove it. I need to set up the controller here. I'll work on about 48 frames. Next, I'll remove the image again. Let's zoom in on the image and reduce its size a bit. I'll set it to about 850 by 400. Next, you can also reduce the size of the original image like this and remove the controller. Since a lot of people do it this way, you can try applying Midas. If Midas takes too long, you can certainly do it that particular way too. Next, I will proceed to load the necessary model in order to effectively apply the control net. If you carefully type in apply, the option apply animate advanced control net will then prominently show up, appearing just like this on your screen. Go ahead and load this. Then just load it as control net model load. Make sure that control net model load is set to depth. There are two versions of depth, but just use this one. And for this depth, connect it to ControlNet here, and then connect the depth map like this to use it as a preprocessor. Now it's set up like this. Next, there are positive and negative prompts, so if you look here, you need to put the positive prompt here in order to control and apply it. You also need to connect the out slot from the K-sampler like this. That's how it should be connected. Then the weight should be set to about 0.5. If you set the control net to 1, it's too strong, so sometimes it doesn't actually apply well. That's why I tend to lower the value instead. At least within Comfy, that is. Here, I was adjusting it to around 800 by 450, but I'll set it to 850 by 400. Let's go with 856 by 400. This one is 856 by 400, so we could just set it to 8566 as well, right? Let's do it like this. It's 48 frames, right? Let's try running this particular process at 30 frames per second, and then we will run it again at 30 frames per second. The control net has been applied. Since we set the speed to 30 frames, it moves quickly. It definitely looks a bit more three-dimensional and turned out well. I think it's much better than before. The cloud looks really great. Let's try increasing the number of frames a bit more. I'll try it with 72 frames. You can gradually increase it bit by bit and distinguish between the parts that work and the parts that don't. Since the control net is being applied from this point, and because it's running on the cloud, there are quotas and such, so you might run into some limits. But the next day, it'll probably process quickly again. Just keep those things in mind as you work. For those following along with the tutorial, since it was really fast at 48 frames, I think the rest will probably go smoothly as well. It's really great. I'll wait until the video comes out. And as I mentioned earlier, there's a skip first frame option, so you can just process as many frames as you want, step by step. So for the parts you've already done, if you enter 72 here, you can just continue working from there. Since it seems like you can also process 72 frames in a row, try increasing the number little by little as you go. Don't try to increase it all at once. For the work you've done, like now, we've finished processing 72 frames. So from there, you just keep working forward. That way you'll be processing beyond 72 frames. You can try it this way, keeping these things in mind. If there are any restrictions on the cloud or if it gets overloaded, it will definitely slow down. If it gets too slow or doesn't work well, you can temporarily turn off the config URL and reconnect, and it usually works again. So for this lecture, we'll just process up to 72 frames. When I tried it earlier, it worked for all frames, and I was able to process about 7 seconds of footage. But sometimes it didn't work, so there seem to be some issues like that. Alright, that's good. I'll try turning it off and then processing the entire frame again. I'm curious about it too. Since I'm deeply wondering if it truly only works after exiting and re-entering, I will attempt it right from the very first frame 0. I'll go ahead and press the run button. If you want to add more detail to the shape of the hand, just increase the value of the control net. Then the hand shape will appear a bit more clearly, but the control net will also be applied to the background. Because of that, there's a chance the background will change little by little. It will be applied only slightly to most images. If the control net gets stronger, it becomes more stable. That's just how the video itself is. Now I hope you try it out and see for yourself. It seems like the entire frame is working well too. Once the video is done, I'll wrap things up. The video is finished, and as you can see, it's applied very well. You can see the hand shape there, right? It's really good. The flower moves just as it should. Alright, great. So we've tried applying the control net to the video as a first step, and we've also done some work using masks. Thank you all for following along and working hard.